not many people come out of, you know, a big time like Hollywood. So I want to share that story.
Well,
It's a
I'm
good one.
in a similar boat because coming from Kansas City, there's a lot of people who would say, "Oh my gosh, you moved from Kansas City to Los Angeles, a big, big, big town," you know, blah blah blah. So I get it. Um, so let's open the show. Hey man, what up? It's the Ace Micheals show, and we're happy to have you on board. As always, you know we love talking to you and you sharing these experiences with us. We can't do it without you. So well, that's why we do it all the time. Today, my guest is dun, 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 Alyssa Flores, aka Push. Oh, snappy, snappy. Back on the show again, back on the scene. She's doing big things. She's always doing big things. So we're happy to have her on board. Welcome to the show, Dorlin.
That's right, darling. You've gotten better at it.
So tell me what's going on with you from today backwards. That's how we'll do it.
Yeah, so, you know, I moved back to Texas from, you know, Hollywood into Vegas, which, you know, you and I have kind of like went stomping grounds with at the same time. But I came back to Austin and been spending basically going over my life project that I've been working on for like 10 years. And it all started here in Austin. So I kind of like, it's perfect that I'm here going back to the beginning so I can tell the story from the beginning, share it with all of you guys. I'm really excited.
So let's start from the beginning then. So why did you even move out of Texas? You had a comfortable bed, you had a cot with a comforter and the whole 9 yards. What made you leave that stability?
Well, you know, I went as far as I could in Austin. As an artist and a musician, I did everything you can think of. Played music, put on art shows, met all the artists and did all that whole biz. But there was something I needed more. I wanted a bigger playground, so I went to the next place I knew was LA, and I had a couple of art friends out there. They plugged me in, and here came Hollywood. I did my first audition, and that first audition was with you, and I had never, ever danced in my entire life in front of an audience, more or less burlesque, and that's exactly what I came out there to do without like a game plan. Hold on, my dog. He wants to say hello.
Yeah.
So, wait, we're good. We're good, Mama. Lay down. There she goes. So yeah, I did my audition with you, and from there you got me to, you know, West Side for Hollywood and put me in that TV jazz show, and I created the name Push. And from there, I developed my brand, became a huge performer. I mean, like, I went everywhere from there, Ace, like Burning Man shows, mansion shows. I did LA Weekly's best variety show in North Hollywood. Like, my dreams came true, so say, in Hollywood.
Wow.
As far as becoming a performer.
And what's that like when
So
your dream
that
comes
whole
true? What is that like when your dream comes true?
yeah,
How does that change your life? You know, I recently had a dream come true of mine, and the thing that I felt pretty much the day after I realized it came true was I was a little like pensive, because I was like, you know what? Now what? Like, all I know how to do is push this rock up a hill. Now it's up a hill. I'm at the top of the hill looking down going, okay, where's the next hill? Because that I know how to do. I don't know how to chill.
yeah, right, and sit with your success. I hear you. Yeah, so I mean, once I was there, it was just, you know, molding the craft and becoming better at what I do. You know, putting on bigger shows, better costumes, more networking, making more friends, making more appearances. I started hosting shows and putting on Battle of Bands as a host. And I mean, it's just like I met the music market out in LA. So my fan base just like, you know, went 500 times plus, and then that's when I met my rock star love of my life, and that just kind of catapulted me into more fame. And from there, the whole story, you know, plot thickens and it gets more interesting. That led me to Vegas, and from there, I just, you know, I just kind of like kept evolving. I think what it does is it actually helps you like look inward to yourself on, okay, this is where I have all these talents, I have all these hang-ups, and how can I balance and bring them together and keep them solid? I mean, it's just like, how do you keep putting out an album every year? You know, you just refine, you take what you've learned and you put it forward, and you just keep rolling with that. I mean, the world is endless when it comes to just creating from what you've experienced, and there you go. You put it in your performance.
What's your 2 cents of advice to a new performer wanting to do what you've done?
Get ready to put in the legwork. You know, you'll do everything you need to do. I mean, I went from places where I was house hopping, I was homeless. All my money went to costumes, and, you know, I barely ate, but like, I was having a blast, and I was barely living at home because I was out and about all the time. So, you know, weird hours of sleep, you're on the late night schedule, you're drinking all the time because you're at your show, and, you know, like with friends, and it becomes that lifestyle. And it's a tough one, because this is where a lot of artists fall apart, is that there's no normalcy. The balance really becomes part of your work ethic. Like, you have to have that work performance balance. And if you get sucked into all that, you watch all that shit go bye-bye. But if you can come over, you know, overcome it, and do something great with yourself and have made a mark in this world, by all means, don't let that pass and keep it going. I mean, I don't perform anymore, but I found a way to keep that part of my life with other extracurricular activities that I
do. You're a sexy hottie girl. Are you dating, or have you been dating?
So COVID kind of put a little stomper on that, and I, you know, have been keeping in touch with a lot of really good friends of my past that I'll call good friends. And it's good company, you know, like the meeting of the minds years later, and everybody has, you know, things they want to share. Go on. And so, I mean, from here, now that people are coming back out, like I was saying earlier, like group dating is now the thing. Like, get to know some new people. I'm just all about wanting to meet new people.
Okay, well,
And so we'll all go out.
okay, if you're gonna do that, I want to run a couple of dating do's and don'ts by you, just to get your opinion on these, and maybe to enlighten you on some things to do and don't do on some dates, since you're going to be mixing it up with the people. You know, you're getting into the scene again. You might want to look out for some of these things. So the first thing is, somebody says, what do you do when you go on the first date and he gets shit-faced drunk on the first date? So drunk, you got to carry him to his car. You got to like change his diaper, like the whole thing. Like, he's extremely drunk. This is the very first date. What do you do?
Oh, I've been on that date, unfortunately.
She's like, that was
So
me.
things are about.
That was me.
No, I've definitely been where like things are getting ready to take off, and they're just like right into the bathroom and losing their shit. Or there's the whole like, we've had too much wine with dinner and they get dehydrated because they don't drink water. It gets completely on stop. Like, okay, shit. Well, now you gotta hydrate, and there goes the rest of my evening. So good night.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it happens.
So here's another one. You're seeing a person who can only call you late
Uh-huh.
at night or text you. You
Okay.
get text messages and weird hour phone calls. What does that mean? Are they married? They're
Oh,
married.
I haven't.
You're the affair they're having.
Oh, and they're married?
Well, no, you don't know they're married. All you know is
Awesome.
you can only seem to reach them by text message, and you get late
Yeah.
hour phone calls, like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, like booty call time hours.
Yeah. I get quite a few of those actually. I roll with it. I mean, weirdly enough, dealing with musicians, it's kind of like a common tale that husbands have their agreements with their partners that when they're on the road, it's a whole nother game, right? So I get caught up in all that with my fellow friends. But no, it happens, and the communication has its own boundaries of respect for time frames and content, and it's a very very interesting dynamic relationship. Everybody agrees there's no problem, my therapist says. But like there are some people who are really sneaky, and I don't play with fire at that extent. I'm not here to hurt anybody.
Right, right. Okay, so I got time for one more.
So
I got time for one
for
more.
it.
One more is, let's say you're in a relationship, okay? You found that person you want to have a relationship with, and without letting you know, they've decided it's an open relationship. In other words, they're cheating and you found out. So what do? Do you make up and say, well, it happened, let's move forward from there? Or do you say, okay, that's it?
Yeah. I've also been in both sides of that, Ace. So I have been in open relationships, and that stuff is talked as it progressive. Yes, so something that we both want. Obviously, it's something that you try out, and it has to be equal. You can't like really just have one person do it. It's no fun. It's kind of it takes advantage of the situation. But if it's something that I don't want to share a partner, in that kind of situation, then the relationship's over. Like there's some people that I can absolutely do that with, but that's another way we're wired with those kinds of people. The people who I want to stay completely committed to, I'm actually giving them more of everything that like belongs in this wonderful soul and heart and mind, that I can't share. Otherwise, it's really taking advantage of me personally in a way that's only meant for one person. So it just depends what everybody's capable of and what their expectations are. But it's definitely possible.
And that's what's up. I got time for one more. I got time for one more. Long distance. He lives in London. You live in Texas. Is that going to work? Is it going to work? Long distance.
Yeah.
Work?
I did it for years with somebody. Yeah, it can work. I mean, they say like people who are in long distance relationships actually work harder at their relationship. Being a traveling artist and being most of my relationships are traveling musicians, like that was a lot of the dynamic. And I swear it was like the times that we could be together were the most amazing. And that would last me for months. And you would work harder to make sure that would keep going. And, people would live their life as you go back to your normal life. But when you're together, it's incredible. It's a journey. It's an adventure. It's deepening the relationship. So I see all dynamics of these kinds of relationships that you're giving me. Like there's possibilities to really have a real defined relationship with somebody. Just depends on the person and the situation. I've been through it all, my love.
There it is, folks. That is Push the Girl, Alyssa Flores. She's hot, and she clearly has some solid relationship advice. So there you go. It's the Ace Micheals Show. How do we reach you on the www?
So go to anywhere you see Push the Girl or Miss Alyssa. I am on all platforms.
And
Come
that
check
is
it out.
Ace Micheals Show, baby. We'll see you next time. You know what I say? Live the life you love. Love the life you live.